Holy hot dog on a stick. Here's a stat that stopped me in my tracks. They say that every day your business is late to AI, you fall 2 days behind. 2 days? Every single day you're not using it? Oh my goodness. Listen, the competition is not slowing down for any of us. So the real question isn't whether you should be using AI in your business. It's how do you actually do it without making a total mess of things? That's where NetSuite Next comes in. You probably already know NetSuite. It's the AI-powered business management suite trusted by over 43,000 customers that securely connects all your data, financials, inventory, commerce, HR, CRM, literally everything in one single source of truth, baby. But NetSuite Next takes it even further because now AI is built into everything you do, right? It automatically surfaces custom insights throughout your day. AI agents work right alongside you to solve problems and handle all that routine stuff. Anytime you have a question about anything, just ask, like you're chatting with a coworker who actually knows what's going on. NetSuite is customized for a ton of different industries, so it actually supports the way your business really works. And if I needed a business management suite, this is exactly what I'd use. Whether your company is making millions or hundreds of millions, it's time for NetSuite Next, baby. For the first time ever, you can try NetSuite Next for free. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, go to netsuite.ai/SPI. Built for every industry, ready for every boardroom, netsuite.ai/SPI.
You know, running a podcast and an online business means I'm constantly thinking about the team behind it all. And let me tell you, finding the right person for the right role is one of the hardest parts of growing a business. If I had to hire somebody tomorrow, say a new producer for this show, I wouldn't just want anyone who knows how to edit audio. I'd want someone who understands conversational podcasting, knows our workflow, gets our audience, and can jump in and handle the chaos from day one. That's a very specific set of skills. And honestly, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Here's why Indeed Sponsored Jobs is the move. Sponsored jobs boost your job post in search results so you can reach candidates that meet your specific criteria, the skills, certifications, and experience that actually matter for your business, and only you pay for the results. Let me put it this way. People are finding quality hires on Indeed right now. In the minutes I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. That's pretty incredible. And get this, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed are 95% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. That's the difference between spinning your wheels and actually finding the right person. Join the 3.3 million employers worldwide that use Indeed to connect with quality talent that fits their needs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need the right hire fast? Then this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Hey friends, Liz Wilcox here, and I think Pat is somewhere around here too. Did you know that 20% of videos shown to YouTube watchers right now are AI slop, and that people abandon 40% of slow videos by 10 seconds in? Oh, and the average U.S. citizen spends about 3 hours and 38 minutes per day watching digital videos. Can you believe that?
That's so much video, Liz. It's so much video.
It's a lot. And we're recording this at a time when I'm supposed to be on vacation. And I have been watching a lot of videos. I even thought, oh gosh, I need to remove Instagram for a few days because I've just been watching so much content. So I think I'm exceeding that exceptionally right now.
Yeah, we kind of always knew video was going to be king when it came to content consumption. It's just easier. So then on the creation side of things, it's like, how do we get to do that and do it easily, which is what we're going to talk about today. But I do want to comment on what you said about just like leaving videos right away. When I think about some of my own habits, which again, I am not happy to admit that I do doom scroll every once in a while. I try to control it, but I'm flipping through dozens of videos until I find like the one that captures my attention. And from a creator's perspective, it's like, okay, well, how do we stop people from scrolling? But more than that, even how do we get people from the short form kind of obsession we all have to long form? Because long form is great, but like you said, a lot of people are just using AI to make it easy for them, but nobody wants to watch that kind of stuff. I call it sloptimization. That's what I call it.
Yeah, you have been using that term everywhere. I'm like, my buddy Pat keeps using sloptimization. I'm like, ain't that about the truth though? Because it just feeds into itself and it's this real like sloppy optimization. I love that so much. And I would love to know how to take people from short form to long form as well. We've started to sort of revamp the Smart Passive Income YouTube channel as well. And we posted a few
lives on there. We posted a couple long form, and they're just not performing the same way as the short form. So maybe we can get into that today. We have a super special guest. I'm like genuinely really stoked to bring out Doc Rock from Ecamm because if anybody is anti-optimization, but can also at the same time help us with it, I think it's Doc. So let's welcome him onto the show.
What's up, Doc?
Aloha, everybody. Good to see you guys, as always.
Aloha. From Hawaii.
Yes. I'm not just using the aloha as a fashion statement. I live here. 43 years, 44, I don't know, long enough that is older than Liz.
That's very true. That's very true.
As old as me. Maybe we can quickly share our experiences with Doc to set him up, because I was on the Ecamm train back when Skype was how we recorded video podcasts. So Ecamm Call Recorder was the tool I used. Were you with Ecamm back then too, Doc?
Listen, this is the best part of the conversation. Okay, so I had knee surgery and I got a complication. So I was stuck in the hospital and I was bored and I'm going through YouTube videos. And everybody on YouTube was like, hey, YouTube is going to start doing lives. I was already doing lives on YouTube, but it was very hard. I had to go through like a PC machine that was doing the ingestion. And then I was doing everything on my Mac, but I was running it through two separate PCs. And this dude pops up on my feed around December, maybe. And he was doing something called Smart Passive Income. And he's going to do a whole bunch of lives. Maybe it was January. And it was right before we got stuck in the house. And it was you. And right after your video, I saw Diana Gladney. And I was like, oh, I think I'm going to try this. Because everybody was saying, Sean and Benji, everybody was saying, hey, you got to do lives. And so I went to go look for something because I hated OBS. That was the, working in the PC side. It just doesn't work for me. Even though I'm a broadcast person, I'm a broadcast engineer. I do audio. I mean, you know how I know how to do video stuff.
Yeah.
But it just drove me crazy because none of the settings actually made sense. They were trying to crisscross normal people language and broadcast language. And those two things just don't really work. And I was waiting for this announcement that they're going to make a Mac version of OBS that is called Streamlabs OBS that would be better than the port that was running around. And when it came out, it was like, ooh, this is nasty. So I went back looking again, and then there's you smiling and Diana. And then I did something what I always do, search for a discount code, and I found Stephanie. And all of these people are my friends now. So I literally signed up basically February or March of 2020 on the back of you, strangely enough. So you probably got affiliate commission for me coming in.
Probably, and thank you for that. Yeah, the COVID kind of lockdown changed my life in so many different ways. I mean, it slowed me down from events and those kinds of things, which was great. It got me into potentially writing a new book, but most of all, it got me behind the camera for the first time doing lives. And I went live every single day for 365 days on the income stream, which is what it was. And it was Ecamm Live is what it was known as back then, that just made it so easy to just do it. And as we're talking about creators, and a lot of people listening are creators or soon to be creators, removing the friction as much as possible is going to be extremely important to just kind of making it happen. And then I eventually, after a week, I just could sit down, press a couple buttons, and there I was live. And I think that trained me for a lot of the virtual presentations that I did later on once, events started to happen and we were like, okay, well, we're not going to get in person, so we're going to do virtual events now. I started to be asked to do those, but then I would use all the skills I learned with Ecamm and literally use Ecamm and its, virtual camera to show up on these events. And I'd switch camera angles, include sound effects and things on the screen. People were so blown away. And then fast forward to today, I use Ecamm every single week for my Pokemon channel to go live in front of about 8,000 to 10,000 people. And I'm opening Pokemon cards and I'm integrating the chat and doing all these things. Again, it's just second nature to me now. So I'm excited to dive into that for the beginner today for sure and show them how easy Ecamm is to use. And Liz, I know that you obviously use Ecamm as well. And you got to the point, if I remember correctly, wasn't Doc at your house at some point?
Yes, y'all, I am super lazy. I don't like to do anything I don't like to do. And Ecamm ran a contest. By the way, I've been using Ecamm since before either one of these guys, since 2017. So almost 10 years now. And they were running this contest where they said, oh, we'll help you set up your show. You just got to pitch your show idea. And I was like, oh, Sweet, bet. And so I pitched my show idea. I looked at, they had a rubric. So I just followed the rubric. I won the contest. And I said, hey, I really wanted to win this because, I really want Doc to just come to my house and build out my studio. Would Doc be willing to do that? And Doc said, yeah, sure. And this poor man lives in Hawaii, came to Florida. I live in Florida. There was a snowstorm, the first snowstorm in about a bajillion years. And so he was stuck with me. There was another Ecamm fam that came too, and they were supposed to be staying. I live right next to an island. They ended up having to stay at my house because the bridges were shut down. And Doc braved the storm every day because we don't have snow plows. We don't have salt on the roads. But it was so fun building out the studio in that snowstorm, with my daughters and everything else. But yeah, I've been using Ecamm and live streaming since, day one. I remember I saw a commercial on cable TV for Facebook Live. And it was right about the time that I started my business, maybe about a year in or something. And I was like, oh, well, I could do that. I love to talk. Like, I know if people see my face, they're either sold or they're, ready to move on. And so I did that. And I remember I posted because I wanted to do a digital summit before digital summits was a phrase. And I posted on Facebook, hey, I want a software that can do ABC, cut to people, have two people on the screen, put a layout. And somebody said, oh, you need something called Ecamm. And y'all, I had a PC. I was a PC girly, since 1991, right? And so I ended up going out to the store that day and I bought a Mac just so I could use Ecamm because I knew it had the features that I absolutely needed to get the attention that I had to have to build my business. And now I'm wearing an Apple Watch, y'all.
Hey, sorry, I just have to be the ultra guy. One of the things that I would say that's very important, I want everyone here to listen to this very closely. Two things that sold me on wanting to use this when I saw what both Pat and our friend Diana Gladney was doing. They were showing up just as themselves. Again, I came from the broadcast world. The lives that I were doing prior, I was setting up elaborate setups. Okay. I had 5 or 6 lights. It was in a larger sort of living room kind of setup. I had a green screen. I was bringing in this Sony microphone that you all know what it is. YouTubers don't talk about it because it's a $20,000 mic, but it's called a C800. It's basically what Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson, everybody record on. Again, a huge audio nerd, so I have one of those. And I was setting that up. It takes 20 minutes to warm up because, just the type of technology that it uses. And I was driving myself crazy. And I was like, this little handsome dude over here just sitting down in a room full of stuff. And I'm a pop collector. Back in the day, my whole office was full of pops. I'm like, he has the same stuff I have in my background that I am not showing anybody. I'm putting up the green screen to make it look, all fantabulous or whatever. And I was like, that's the reason why I don't like doing the lives. It's not that I don't like doing them. It's that it takes me 30 minutes to set up and an hour to take it back down and, going through all the rigmarole. And so you were just saying, oh, I just popped this on and hit this button. And you had made a video sort of like how, Ecamm Flow works for you. And 2 things I got out of that. One, you're just going as is. So people, don't be afraid to just show up. And when I tell you what Liz was doing, I was blown away. It became my hook for the entire year after I left her house. I'm like, this lady made dang near $500,000 with an old machine and a crusty desk that was wobbly. It was a little teeny desk that looked like it was going to die, but it was cranking. And here the rest of us, these elaborate studios going, hey, I need to get this mortgage squared away. What's going on? And so just don't overthink that part. Understand you probably have everything you need right now, even if it's just your phone. And I hate using the word just, but I think in this case, it highlights the fact that you can take a phone, plug it in, and it works. And when I do Pat's gigantic event stream, you know what I'm using for 2 of the main cameras? 2 iPhones. Yeah. That's what the Pokemon cards are shown on because it's the easiest for the creators so that they don't freak out. I tried to bring in a fancy camera and they're like, Doc, this is in my way.
Even when you think about what's working today, we talk about the sloptimization of things and AI being used to make everything look perfect. I mean, people are sick of it. They don't want the fine-tuned, optimized show. They want real life stuff. right? That's what's popping off right now on Twitch. That's what people are connecting with on YouTube. That's what people are connecting with even on short form videos. It's not the crazy fancy edits. It's just sitting down and talking. A lot of those stories, they call them yap videos. And yap videos are taking off right now because people are they just want to hear what you have to say. And if you learn how to tell a great story, which I've said, for years now, just get good at telling story, whether it's a 60-second story or a 60-minute story, or you're live and you just happen to be talking about something. You can capture attention, you could build super fans, and you can bring them into your ecosystem from there. You don't have to overcomplicate this, and you can get started today. So I'm going to offer, Liz, if it's okay, the first plug for Ecamm to go to smartpassiveincome.com/Ecamm, because there's some goodies there if you want to get started with that. We'll mention that a few times, but I cannot sing the praises of Ecamm enough, because I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing today if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, oddly enough, me neither.
Yeah, use it, please. It is the best software to go live. There's a lot of other ones. Streamlabs, I tried. It was just way too complicated. There's like StreamYard, which a lot of people use. OBS was just a foreign language to me. Ecamm just makes it so simple. And I remember creating a tutorial on Ecamm, my first one, that saw, I think, over 1 million views in 3 months because people were so excited about just how simple this was to use. So I'm just going to keep shouting from the rooftops to get it. So smartpassiveincome.com/Ecamm.
Okay, so let's take it back a little bit though. Like, let's say I'm listening, I'm a member of the SPI community, but I'm not wholly sold on video, right? Like, I know Pat does it, Liz is desperate to do it more, right? But I don't really know. Like, I'm scared to get on video. I don't have the right mic. Why do I need video right here, right now? What do you think, Doc?
Okay, I used to let people, this is going to sound crazy, but I used to let people sort of slowly work their way in the video, slowly back their way in the video. It's kind of the way that, you train someone on spicy. I'm a heat eater, right? I'm half Puerto Rican. I was adopted by Koreans. My food is hot. When I started dating my other half 25 years ago, her ketchup was spicy. And I'm like, I'm not cooking two separate foods. I like Pat. I love to cook, but cooking two separate foods is very pain in the butt. So I'm like, I'm going to slowly creep her into heat. We get a diluted Tabasco, then we work our way to Sriracha. And now I can get her into a whole scoop of gochugaru, which is the Korean, pepper flakes. And you have to work your way in. Well, now video is at the point where if you don't do it, you're really going to get left behind. It is the best way to connect with people. If you think about who you're watching when you're supposed to be doing your work, and then you're scoping out your friends on the internet, as we call them, you have this set of like 10-ish people that you watch pseudo-religiously, because even as a creator, we have parasocial relationships with other creators. One of my parasocial relationships with another creator happened to be Benji. Like, I've always watched his stuff, always thought he was really cool. I was like, I knew we would get along. He has a little bit of Japanophile in him. I happened to be doing a show with Pat, and I saw him walking across the thing, and I was like, hey, Benji, come over here. And then he was like, who's this weird dude? And then we got to talking, and we're best of friends now. We talk like 5-6 times a week, right? So you do build these kind of relations with people, and this is how you grow your audience. This is how you build your team. This is how you have your community. Your community finds you because you're showing up as you on the internet, because you're showing up to give them a reflection of the type of people that they enjoy to hang out with. And now that we have, quote unquote, a loneliness epidemic where people just feel like they don't have a space, this is the thing that takes down the walls that, like, basically old Star Wars fans get together and talk game where nobody's going to talk bad about us. Like, where I used to have to run from people in school because I had my, lunchbox, I don't have to do that now. All the Star Wars fans unite. Now it turns out the cool kids are trying to get into Star Wars, and we're looking at them like, hey, we've been here before. The Baby Yoda. His name is Grogu, by the way. It's not Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Like things like that, right? Or the people who love Back to the Future, people who love NSYNC. Like, these people all exist on that. You can find your folks. So you really have to do video at this point. And yes, it's all scary in the beginning. If you take any of our videos, go all the way back on YouTube, sort by oldest, and look at what we started at, and you'll be like, dang, cuz had to glow up. That was terrible back then,
That's so funny.
My old videos are hilarious to me now.
Oh, they're super cringe, I'm sure. We all are. So, Pat, you mentioned going live for an entire year.
Yeah.
What did that do for SPI?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I wasn't 24/7 live for an entire year, although that kind of content is also becoming popular. IRL, in real life kind of content is picking up steam as well. But no, I was live every day for 1 hour, 9 a.m. Pacific. And it did a number of things for me personally and for SPI. For me, it just got me comfortable going through the motions of putting myself out there. And no, none of those videos were perfect. It was sloppy. But you know what? You got to be cringe before they binge. That's what I like to say. You got to be cringe before they binge. You think that like, well, before I go live or before I create a video or record, I'm just going to practice, right? Practice makes perfect. But in the world of content creation, publishing makes perfect. You got to just put it out there and just get messy with it, right? Another phrase similar is you got to be a disaster before you become the master. So all that stuff, I was just going through the motions and I wasn't trying to optimize for views or likes or anything like that. I was just counting my uploads. Count uploads, not likes, as my buddy Alex says. And that was really key because I just wanted to keep that streak going. But that's what forced me to figure out, well, how do I make this easy? It's what got me to understand, okay, well, which topics my audience preferred more than others. It got me better at storytelling. It got me to learn how to communicate with a live audience and make them feel like they're a part of the show versus just kind of like watching somebody. And I started to get advanced over time with how I can insert little movies inside that we could talk about later, or little, pre-recorded things or audio. That was the first time I included a jingle. Right? That was the income stream jingle, which now I have a jingle called Should I Open It or Should I Keep It Sealed that has been heard by billions of people. So it taught me how to get out of my own way, which then transpired into SPI, building a deeper connection with the audience there. Now, it didn't explode my subscribership. I think that was the one thing that was very surprising because I was going live and I was consistent. Didn't explode my subscribership, but it got me deeper with those people who were there every day. I became friends with some of them. I could still remember many of their names, Just Samson and so many others who were making the live streams a part of their daily routine as much as the live stream was a part of my own. And we became very close. And a lot of those conversations and friendships, even after the stream ended, continued on and went into the DMs. And I've gotten to meet a lot of those people in person who are now super fans who've continued to become students and even become paying customers over time. More than that, they sing praises for SPI, and fly the flag really high for us, which is really amazing. So that's been really neat. And yes, there were some videos. When you go live, and by the way, Ecamm is not just for going live. You can record your videos in Ecamm as well. And the cool thing about that is once you figure it out, and again, it's not that hard, it reduces the amount of editing you need to do later, right? Let's just say, pretend you have two cameras and, in the editing process, it's like, oh, now I got to switch between both cameras in the post-editing process, which takes time. Versus you can just click a hotkey or a button to switch between the two cameras during the recording session. And now it's just there already. It's the most beautiful thing because then you can just kind of almost publish straight from there for the most part. So you can do it that way too. But again, it did teach me a lot. And what I learned from doing the lives is that if you can repackage those lives, meaning maybe you change the thumbnail after the live, or you can pull a part out of that live and make that a clip or turn that into a smaller video. That is a popular thing that people are doing. So I'm sorry I'm rambling because this is really exciting, but there was this thing recently called Streamer University. I don't know if you've caught wind of this, but this was something that a very famous Twitch streamer named Kai Cenat did, where he recruited a whole bunch of people. They rented out a university. I don't remember which one, but it was during a summer session. And they had streamers there kind of taking class. And there were a number of other famous streamers teaching these things. Ludwig is one of them, a very famous YouTuber and Twitch streamer. And he said that his workflow was he would go live, and in this live, he would be live for 2 or 3 hours. He would talk about multiple different topics, right? So for the people who were watching them live, man, he's building this deep relationship, building super fans, interacting with the chat, all these kinds of things. But there were segments that he pre-planned. He didn't script all of them, but he knew what the topics were going to be. And he had a really well-defined hook for each of them because he knew that he would then have his editors take out that 20-minute portion where he's talking about topic X, and then this next topic Y, he was going to pull out that portion. Those were each going to be separate YouTube videos with its own thumbnail, its own title about that segment. That was just a part of a much larger whole. And so from there, he can then pull out from those shorter segments, a 20-minute segment, he could pull out the 2-minute segment that could be a vertical short. So now from one live stream, you could have 50 pieces of content potentially, and it's all just done in one full swoop. And I think that kind of approach to this can make your life so much easier when it comes to, well, what are you creating? Just a little bit of planning ahead of time. and then deepening that relationship in lives, but then finding the newer audiences from the YouTube videos that are pulled from that. You can have it all and the shorts as well. So I hope that's exciting to some of you, because that's exciting to me and something we're looking to explore, even in the Pokemon space with the lives that I'm doing too. Here's something I wish somebody had told me earlier in my entrepreneurial journey. The fastest growing businesses aren't doing more, they're delegating smarter. And I know that's easier said than done, because finding the right person with the right skills at the right time, that's where most of us get stuck. You either spend time recruiting or you end up doing it all yourself. That's exactly why I love Upwork. Upwork is a one-stop platform to find, hire, and pay expert freelancers across web and software development, data and analytics, marketing, business operations, and more. You get fast access to specialized talent across 125 categories, so you can fill skill gaps, launch projects faster, and scale support up or down without committing to full-time headcount. You can browse profiles, review past work, and get help scoping the role so you hire with confidence. And with Business Plus, you get access to the top 1% of talent on Upwork with AI-powered shortlisting that matches you to the right freelancer in under 6 hours. No endless searching required. Upwork also handles contracts and payments in one place, cutting down the operational hassle so you can focus actually on growing your business. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's Upwork.com to connect with top-tier talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. So here's something I've always believed about websites. The best ones, they feel handcrafted, like every single detail was intentional. But getting there has traditionally meant weeks of back and forth between designers, developers, and everybody else in between. That gap between a great idea and a production-ready website has always been too wide. Framer closes it. Framer is the pro site builder for creators, teams, and businesses that want a professional site and care enough to get every detail right. And here's what's really exciting. AI agents are built directly into the canvas, the same space where your real site lives. Your team can design pages, manage CMS content, write copy, add SEO, and audit for issues, all without ever leaving the tool. Here's the balance I love. Agents bring the speed and scale. Your team brings the taste, judgment, and control. You prompt, inspect, edit, and publish all in one place at a whole new pace. Companies like Perplexity and Miro trust Framer with their .com, backed by enterprise-grade security and 99.99% uptime. Learn how you can get more out of your site from a Framer specialist, or get started building for free today at framer.com/SPI for 30% off a Framer Pro annual plan. That's framer.com/SPI for 30% off. Framer.com/SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Oh my God. I just had a major sort of brain thought, and especially because Liz wants to go live more. I'm just going to sound weird, Liz. Stick with me. Trust me. I have weird analogies. We've been friends long enough.
I always do. Keep going.
Okay. Okay. So I go to Japan 4 or 5 times a year. Matter of fact, I'm going in October and December. This is my spot. I tried to send Pat, like, hey, Pat, you're going to Japan. You need the Secret Scroll lessons. I got you.
Oh, yeah. I'm going in November. I love it.
All right. So to me, Liz, you are very much my A5 Wagyu friend. You are just good raw as is, doesn't need a lot of craziness, no need of extra salt, no weird peppers, nothing. You just make it light little heat, boom, ready to go. It doesn't require marination or hitting with hammers and all this other weird stuff. You're just good as you are. You're trying to go live, but you also make tons of content. Fam, just go live while you batch content your Lizness, because the you being you shows other people that it's okay to be just normal, which is what everybody loves about you, is you let us normies feel good being normal, especially if we got a little sauce to us that, all the quote unquote polished marketing LinkedIn people think, they got to be like. We like to show up just as us, which is why we're friends, right? So if all you did was put your camera on and be like, guys, I got to make 6 promo videos for SPI, and I need to make another video for my Ecamm. My Ecamm thing. I'll use that one. That's a good one. I need to make a video about email, and y'all just gonna watch me make videos and just leave it there IRL. That camera could be on the opposite side of the room, just connected and running, but you have your iPad, because a lot of people don't know, if you're live on YouTube, something that I do for Pat's creators when we're at Card Party is I pop out the chat, I copy that link, and I paste it into an iPad, so I have the chat in my hand. Right? Because it can be its own separate window in Safari on the iPad. It's just a chat. So you can put that on the table so you can talk to people and see what's going on. But you just sit there and go, hey, Liz, today I'm going to tell you this. And you give your little spew. And then they get to see you doing your mess ups and the whole 9 yards, and just see that creating content as a normal person is normal. And the amount of weird things I say to myself when I'm recording a video, I have threatened to my community that I'm going to release the edits of just the things I say in between takes. And then I realize it's not good for family consumption. But it would be a really fantastic way for you to show up in your full business and get two things done at one time, because what is that? Task stacking is probably one of the greatest potentials available for anybody doing any type of work. If you can task stack, so like I do my brain dumps while I'm also walking. I'm a humble brag. Right now, I lost 75 pounds this year. And a lot of it had to do with walking. And I would just have my AirPods on and I'm talking and I'm having it go into a voice recorder. And I come back and I put the notes into Notion. That way I don't miss things anymore. And it's been my little ADHD therapy of walking around. But again, you can test that. So I think that's a good way for people to see this, is you can just go live doing what you were going to do. And our buddy Benji, he has to make dinner for his family. You know what he decided to do? Put 2 cameras in the kitchen while he's making dinner for his family. And I literally sit there and watch 400 people watch his brother make katsu over and over and over. Why? Because his 5 girls love katsu.
Yeah,
and pizza.
I really like that idea, and something that I've been doing over at lizwilcox.com for a couple of years now, and I think maybe Doc gave me the idea, was to do co-working live
100%.
instead of mapping out this stream, whatever. It was like, I just need to go live. I just want to get those watch hours, really.
100%.
And I want to connect with my people. And it was very similar to what Doc is saying. I use Ecamm, and Ecamm lets me like project my screen onto the screen, right? And so I say, hey guys, let's all come together. Let's get some work done. I'm going to put on the screen what I'm working on, and they can see me live typing. They can see me live, recording the video like Doc said, and they'll put in the chat, oh, I'm working on my emails. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. And some people are like, hey, I'm just cooking, but I just want to be here because I know I've got to get dinner done. And it's been an amazing way to connect. And while Pat and Doc were talking about video and content creation, I just wanted to give like a couple more ideas about video for you and your audience that isn't just posting on social or doing live stream, because I know it's easy to look at somebody like Pat, like Doc did back in 2019, and say, oh, I want to be like that, but maybe you don't have time yet to be like that. But because we're creating super fans, we're trying to find a place for our audience to belong. It's important to find those places you can create video. So something that I teach my audience is, putting video into your emails, right? Instead of just writing out something, why don't you just make a quick 3-minute video? You can record with Ecamm or something else, and you can upload it and, send them the link, right? Just seeing your face makes all the difference. I guarantee you there are people in your audience, especially if you're growing your email list, that forgot what you look like, that aren't exactly sure who you are, right? Like there's 1,000,001 Pats and Liz's out there, right? But showing your face over and over, just making quick little videos and not even posting them to YouTube or thinking, oh, this is not perfect enough for a reel yet, but it's good enough for your audience that's already there. Also, things like the co-working. I go live on Zoom a lot just to have people come in and ask me questions. I remember I did an Ask Me Anything April. And again, it wasn't on social media. It wasn't on YouTube. It was just for my community that was already there. It was just to move them through the superfan system to get them from casual to active, right? And they could come, they could ask me literally anything. It was themed throughout, every week was, content creation, podcasting, email, whatever, right? That was another one. And then the last one I had, well, I can't remember, so we'll edit that one out. Or maybe we won't, so you guys can see behind the scenes.
That's
it doesn't
real
have
life.
to be perfect.
That's
exactly.
That's the real thing. You guys started off this thing talking about how like AI slop is, really driving people crazy. The thing that I will say over and over and over again, I love AI. I'm having a lot of fun playing with it. I'm doing all kinds of things. I'm testing out apps I've always wanted to build that I won't even sell. I just want to see what it looks like if I actually made the crazy app idea that I thought I wanted to make. But you know what AI can't do? It can't do lives at all. It's just impossible. It doesn't know how to yet. For now, it can't do live. So the easy way to let people know that it's really you is when you show up more live. And again, don't be so worried about it being perfect. Nobody even cares about the perfect anymore because many of us had people who we thought were the bee's knees Hall of Fame. And then you come to find out, like, maybe they're not good people. Maybe they aren't as cool as I thought they were. Where I feel like when you're just being yourself and you're being live and not looking for that sort of perfect thing, it helps. The other thing I think is super important to remember about perfect, if you start there, where you got to go. Like one of the fun things about doing anything is getting progressively better. When you first started opening packs with Nephew, it was just, I kind of think I remember stuff from playing the game, but I don't remember everything. I don't know how big this space is, but the more you open, the more you find out, the more people's like, hey, this is this thing and this is this type and this is a fire situation. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just listen to Brittany and Conso. And this one evolved into this thing and here's the different versions. And now one of the biggest channels on the Pokemon thing in the planet, but it came from being willing to start as you were and then you become what it became in a short amount of time because again you found something that everybody was hoping somebody would show up and allow them to live in the thing that they love, which other people might not accept. Now outside people are looking at the Pokemon kids like, wait, this is thing? I wish I had known about that. Oh, when I was a kid, I used to do that. I didn't know I could still do that. I mean, there's something I can do with my kids. I've been trying to build a relationship with my kid for a long time. They always thought dad wasn't cool. Now these guys show up 5 deep at, some random convention center somewhere where Pat and myself, my team and his team and the other team are doing stuff. It's like you have to just let people see the real you. And I can't say that enough. It sounds like a broken record, but it's so, so important. Like it just is. It's hard to put that in words. It's like eating your vegetables.
Yeah, I think that's what I was forgetting to say. I wrote it down. I couldn't, y'all, I'm writing so fast I can't read my handwriting. It was those types of videos create customers, but they also create retention, right? I think that's what Doc is trying to say. You get on the video, you see, oh, this is really who that person is. And the more consistent with the video you can get, the more they're going to see that through line of who you are and decide, yep, I'm in, or nope, I'm out. I'm going to keep scrolling, right? And so I've done all sorts of little videos with my audience. And I found that, it's true what Pat teaches in the Superfans book of people will come to the comments, oh, you're not in Liz's membership? What are you doing? Like, here's the link. And they're dropping their affiliate links and things like that. And it's just awesome. And I know it's great for retention as well because they're seeing me over and over, day after day, month after month, now year after year. And they're saying, through it all, Liz has been, XYZ, right? And I'm down for that. And it's just been this really awesome way to, again, take people from casual to this active audience to eventually super fans.
Yeah. I think the other thing I want to share is what does success look like in this world of creating video? It's very easy to see others do video and look at their numbers and believe that you're not doing a great job, even though you might be. First of all, if you're publishing anything, you're doing a great job. There are loads of people who want to do that who just never will. And so, again, we're encouraging you to just get started and use a tool like Ecamm to remove that friction. But number two, that comparison game can just crush you. We are all on different timelines, on different paths. You need to compare yourself to yourself yesterday, last week, last month, not so-and-so who is sharing that they just started, but you didn't realize that they've been at it for 3 years trying to figure this out. And then finally something blew up and we're comparing our daily life to their highlight reel. We can get into big trouble if you do that. And the numbers, those are human beings. If you have 100 views on your video, you might think that that's a failure. But then you go into a space and you have 100 real people in that room. It changes the perspective. You could do so much to serve those people, even if there's just 10 people watching your video, right? And for many of us who are creating businesses that involve getting clients or customers, especially, for services and things like that that are maybe higher end, it might just take 10 people watching a video and one of them to really start to understand that you are their person or that you have what they need to then become a client. And that's it, right? You don't need 1 million views, 1 million subscribers. You might just need a few. and it can still be worth it to do. A lot of where we're in right now, we're in not just like a loneliness epidemic, but we're in a trust recession. And so video is great because you can quickly fast forward that trust with people when they see the real you, hence not perfecting and not having this style of video that is seemingly AI scripted or AI optimized. Rather, just you showing up to be you, a person's more likely to want to work with you, right? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So just put your vibe out there and great things will happen. It takes time. And Liz said the very important word, consistency. Very, very important, because if you show up a couple times, but then show up 6 months after that, how are you able to create trust? If they can't trust you to show up consistently, how are they going to trust you to serve them as a student or as a coach, I should say? So I just wanted to point that out because that's a very, very important mindset shift when it comes into diving into the world of video. It's compare yourself to yourself, not to others.
Yeah, I want to talk about like what are the bare minimum things you need for video, but first I want to touch on the comparison. So y'all listen to me. When we are recording this, I am looking at Pat with his super perfect webcam. He has this fancy mic. He is Pat freaking Flynn, right? Then I've got Doc to the left of me. He's got some fancy audio light thing in the background. Every time I speak, I see it move. He's got an even nicer mic than Pat.
It's the same mic. I made these. This is my product.
Yeah, I've got a Doc Pop too.
I just had to be cute, so I needed a different color.
Right. He's got his cuteness. I know he's got his fancy, like I'm even looking at the mic. He's got these fancy bands to keep everything together. If I was playing the comparison game, I never would have even met either one of these men, right? Because I would have looked at them, and now I'm getting nervous just thinking about it. You can hear my voice shaking because I am you listening. I know what it's like to look at these two men and think, gosh, I am so far behind. I have no shot. I might as well not even try. But listen, it is what Pat said. It is what Doc said. It is about you, who you are showing up to be. It's not about your webcam, y'all, because I don't even I'm using the one that is connected to this Mac that Doc told me, please, Liz, when I leave your house, buy this camera. And I still ain't bought it. I still don't have it. I'm still using this really ridiculous webcam. I have no external camera. I don't even own one. And I'm not using the fancy mic either, but here I am somehow co-hosting one of the top business podcasts in the world. That's insane. It really is about who you are, showing up consistently, being that person, being authentic to who you are, and just, not being afraid to put yourself out there and, get in the room. So with that, Doc, I would love to hear what is that bare minimum equipment that my person in the SPI community needs to get started.
Okay, this is really funny because you just did the whole comparison thing. And I got to tell you, honestly, as funny as it is, when I was there at your house and I was helping you sort of rebuild your room, I looked at the jank stand, I'm going to call it that forever, and saw what you did with that. And I'm like, I wish I never knew a single thing about broadcast engineering or having my broadcast skills, because I went to go build what was a TV studio. And online video is nothing like the TV studio. And I watched so many creators say to me with their actual lips, I want to make it like this particular TV show. And I'm like, the internet is not TV. They do not have to be the same. So my comparison was actually the opposite. I wish I had the guts to start and do it the way that you did it, because yours made you $500,000. Mine cost me $500,000.
And by jank stand, y'all, he's talking about I had this like standing desk.
IKEA rolling cart where the Mac was going to fall off and hit the ground. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it was this big. I can't even show people. Oh my God. It was not even a 24-inch square. It was enough to put that drink that she has always in her hand in an iMac. And I thought it was going to fall on the floor. And I was like, this is so dangerous. Okay. Anyway, the basics that you need is one of these. I'm holding in my hand an iPhone, whatever. Mine happens to be 17 Pro Max, but pick one. I've actually done things with my old iPhone 10 because Ecamm, you just plug the cable that you normally use to charge with, you plug it into the computer, and the Mac can just see your camera. One thing that's really good to know about Ecamm little technical, but not. We don't actually pay attention to cameras. We don't pay attention to microphones. We don't even touch it. If your Mac can see it, we can see it. So we just pull whatever the system shows us. That means you don't have to worry about drivers, which is why I hated the PC stuff, is always fighting camera drivers and things of that nature. So any camera that shows up on your computer will work perfectly fine. And I will always say you definitely need a mic. You don't have to go crazy. There are mics out there that you can get for like 50, 60 bucks nowadays that are pretty good. But if you have the availability to just bite the bullet right ahead and jump on a Shure MV7 Plus or a Shure MV6, I would do that right away. You'll buy it once. I buy once, cry once. You'll have it for life. It totally works. The version of this SM7B that my dad has is from 1972. You know what? It still works.
Wow.
It works exactly like it works today. I stick to Shure because they've been doing this for 101 years. I've been to their factory. They actually have a corner called Mic Drop. They legit just drop the mic, and they have a thing called liquid sweat. It survives fires. It can be rolled over. So it's just kind of worth it if you can swing it. It's worth getting it because you'll do it one time and you won't buy this and then buy something else and buy something else. But mic is important and camera is important. And lastly, if possible, you have the space for it. It is very helpful to get an actual light as opposed to trying to trust the window, because the weather will mess with you. Like I live in Hawaii, Kyle lives in SoCal. Hey, the weather will go from, hey, this is really nice. Let's go to stay there. We're going to watch Netflix, because it will just go, the weather will switch on you and it will change your video quality. So having a light that you control, that's it. That's really all you need. And you can start with the one that's built into your computer like Liz did. It just works. It really does just work. And I know you asked me this the other day, Liz. I would be more than happy to stand in anywhere you ask me to be and show people how to use Ecamm. Like I will do that personalized 101 training for anybody in SPI says, okay, I need to sit there and watch this dude move buttons. And I've recently discovered a really cool design hack for my non-designers. I'm a designer. And I know a lot of people stress out about, well, how am I going to make it look pretty? I don't have a designer or I don't have a design team. I found a really cool design hack using Canva that will allow anybody to design anything within a matter of seconds, and you don't have to do anything. You just basically, if you can trace, remember that in kindergarten? If you can trace, you're good. I can show you how to trace a beautiful looking Ecamm layout in seconds.
It's not that hard, guys.
I'll be looking for that tutorial.
Yeah, Canva's a blessing. I mean, you can create lower thirds and just kind of export that and then literally just drag and drop on the screen on Ecamm and set it to a scene and you're good to go. I do that all the time. So there are so many things to learn that can maybe feel overwhelming, but the truth is it can just be very, very simple to start. You don't need all the fancy things right out of the gate. And every time, the way that I approach my videos is that every time I do a video, I just try to improve something, like one little thing each time. But then over time, as you consistently create videos and publish them, those videos get better and better and better. And if, again, you need some encouragement, go back into my YouTube channel, the Pat Flynn YouTube channel, and go into the past and check out some of those early videos. They are absolutely cringeworthy, but you got to start somewhere. And if you don't start, like Doc said earlier, you're going to get left behind. That's just the truth right now. But don't overcomplicate it. And again, you don't need to worry about what others are doing. You just need to worry about what you're doing and how to best serve your people.
And you know what? I want to give you guys something that you guys both will understand. The day that the miners Flynn and Wilcox were born, you looked at this incredible thing and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. That moment hit you like, oh my God, this thing is beautiful. And I can't believe we did that. And I have no idea how to operate this. It didn't come with an owner's manual or anything, but both of you have thriving teenagers who are brilliant kids. The hardest thing you will ever have to do, you've already done. I don't have kids. So when I listen to parents tell me how hard Ecamm is, I'm like, wait, what? I seen your kids, okay? I look at somebody like my homie Jill. She got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, I wasn't brave enough to do one. So you already done the hardest thing you will ever do is create a children. The hardest thing I ever did was learn how to speak Japanese. And even then, I started out with konnichiwa, but kyo wa mo hontou ni nihongo no peripera nan desu kedomo. So nandemo ii mo peripera means ego de wa fluent. I'm like 90% fluent, but I started out with konnichiwa just like everybody else.
Well, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you for that.
You start somewhere, right? So you have to start. So just start. Don't be afraid. we will hold your hand. You know, I'm the internet hand holder all day long. I just enjoy teaching this because I think when people discover their lane, I like to say like you create little monsters, but I don't mean like in the movie. I mean like Pokemon monsters, cool ones. And it's because once they find their ability, and then you get to evolve and you just get better and better. And then you start bringing other people into the fray because they want to help you. So every time you go live, you think about this. Every time you create a video, every time you post a video, you're helping somebody. And I put that as the first line on my checklist. Who am I helping? That is the first line on my checklist. So when Liz says, hey, can you make a video about this? Yeah. And I will start the video like I'm talking to Liz. I will ignore the other 8 billion people. I make videos for Liz, Mary Lou, Jill, Katie, my buddy Dan. I make videos for certain people and I just post it to the internet. The rest of y'all get to be nosy in my conversation like we were in a cafe. That's how I do it. That's my secret.
Love that so much. So we can go to what link to sign up for eCam, Pat?
That is smartpassiveincome.com/eCam, smartpassiveincome.com/eCam. You'll see some special goodies there. We're always, eCam's always throwing in some goodies for us to make it easier for you. And those could be additional months on the pro account, all those kinds of things. You'll find that there, smartpassiveincome.com/eCam, ECAMM. It's just great to get eCam here on the podcast finally. It's been a long time coming. eCam is an integral part of what we do, and we hope it becomes a tool that you use and find a lot of joy in as well.
Yeah, thanks so much.
What up? Liz Wilcox here. I have to tell you about something that genuinely changed how I think about building a business online. Look, I turned a $9 offer into multiple 6 figures without a single ad. It sounds unbelievable, but the secret wasn't some fancy funnel or a viral moment. It was relationships. I'm talking real human, I actually know your name relationships with the people on my list and inside my community. And that's exactly what the Superfans system is built on. It's a step-by-step framework that takes you from wherever you are right now, whether you're just starting out or you've been at this for a while, and it gives you a clear, focused path to building an audience that doesn't just follow you, but genuinely loves what you do. We're talking courses, community, a live support, and a system that's actually doable. We don't want to overwhelm you. We want you to stop guessing. And so we're going to give you this real roadmap to your real superfans. Are you ready? Yes, you are. Head to superfans.smartpassiveincome.com. Let's get you started.
Hey friend, Liz Wilcox here. Real quick, if you are inside the SPI community, you know that I've spent all summer in Michigan enjoying this lovely weather. But what you might not know is I've actually been staying with my best friend who is an author, and I have been surrounded by him, writing all night at the campfire, sleeping in his cabin in his backyard, surrounded by all the books that he's self-published. And it really got me thinking about you and me. There's something a lot of entrepreneurs dream about but never actually do, right? Write that book. And we want this so bad because a great book, it doesn't just sit pretty on your shelf collecting dust. For entrepreneurs like you and me, it builds instant credibility before someone even books a call with you, joins your program, hires you. It can open doors to speaking gigs, podcast interviews, partnerships, opportunities you didn't even know were possible, right? But if you've never published a book before, it can feel overwhelming. It's hard to know where to even start. And that's why I want you to check out my friends over at self-publishing.com. They have helped thousands of entrepreneurs, coaches, creators, and experts just like you and me actually publish books that support their businesses. So don't try to Google your way through this thing alone. You can book a free strategy session with their team, and they'll tell you straight up whether your idea works as a book, walk you through the options, and map out exactly what's next. Listen. If you've been sitting here thinking, I'd love to write a book someday, stop wondering, babe, and start exploring what's possible. Head over to selfpublishing.com/SPI to book your free publishing strategy session. That's selfpublishing.com/SPI.